WildCats by Jim Lee, a vulgar auteur in comics. It's not a guilty pleasure, it's a pure pleasure of mine. In 1992, Marvel's most popular artists had defected to found their own company. I'm talking about Image. Today it's the third largest comics company after Marvel and DC. At Image Comics, artists could retain their rights to their art and creations, which was revolutionary. Todd McFarlane, Rob Liefeld, Eric Larson, Mark Silvestri, Jim Valentino, Wilce Portacio, every one of them took the liberty to create their own universes and their own characters, their own new Image line. They were so hot at Marvel that when they left, they took all their fans with them. They sold millions of comics. And they could do anything. So they did just that. Rob Liefeld's Youngblood, Todd McFarlane's Spawn, Eric Larson's Savage Dragon, Jim Valentino's Shadowhawk, Mark Silvestri's Cyberforce, and Jim Lee's WildCats. You got some kind of overlap in these two books because you got a crossover, an awesome crossover between WildCats and Cyberforce by Mark Silvestri. But it's great because you got it in absolute format as well. These Image guys, they defined 90s comics up until the great comics crash in 1996. And after that, self-publishing became a financially unstable business. In 1998, Jim Lee left Image and took his studio Wildstorm with him to DC. And that's why we have this absolute edition of WildCats today. So Jim Lee wrote this with his childhood friend Brandon Choi, and in the introduction by Brandon Choi, he says they were raised on Thunderbirds, Ultraman, Speed Racer, Star Trek, Johnny Socko and his flying robot. I definitely can see all these influences in this work, but I also see anime, but also video games and sleazy 80s movies, action movies by Canon or David Ducotto or Andy Sidari's movies. You could say this is style over substance. I call it bold and daring. Wild, double-gate folded spread splash pages. There is a lot of cheesecake in this. Cheesecake art are scantily clad ladies, and you could call it gratuitous nudity, but I don't see it like that because it's very iconic and beautiful in the first place. And then I don't care anymore about obscenity. I know sex is a taboo, but in the end, it's what we're made out of. Without it, we don't exist. So go read The WildCats by Jim Lee. I'll try to put some links down below where you can find the stuff I've mentioned. I really like to hear your comments about these comics. Please let me know if you know similar comics, because I would die to know them. I really like these comics and I want to read more of them. Hit like and subscribe. Bob Fish presents.